Oh man, I got off easy then because when I had my red hair, they used to call me Rooster. That's not that bad, you know.
Only a
That's not that
Mexican,
bad.
only a Mexican will come up with that to call somebody that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know, I know. Oh, you know what's funny is because I was talking to
But hey,
public.
wait a second. Why did they call you Rooster? It wasn't just because you had red hair.
I think it's because the red hair and the backpack. Because I'd walk like this, which I probably didn't even notice. I probably was just walking, and they were like, "Hey, Rooster, what's up, guyo?" Ah, ah. And we're back. Hey, everybody, it's your host of the Pocket Party Podcast, Darren Carter, the party starter. Today, I have a very special guest, good friend I've known for over 20 years. Please welcome Mr. Gilbert Esquivel. How are you, man?
I feel like a Laker right now. All the roaring laughter and the crowd's applauding me, and I can hear it, man. I'm fantasizing. Remember, I haven't heard a crowd in a long time.
I know. You know what's great, Gilbert, is, I know you've done audience warm-up on television shows. You've done so many shows. You've played churches and prisons, and you've put on your own events. And you're a guy that I just love. Every time I'm around you, man, the positivity just like beams from you and your family and your network of people that have been around you, man. And we were talking a couple weeks ago, and I feel like, like the old school. See, I grew up in Fresno, man, and we used to listen to oldies, and I'll never, my sister. I don't know if you knew this, but I grew up in a foster home.
Yeah.
And my sisters are Native American, and but we were really wrapped up in. We really loved the old school Chicano culture, man, and I love that phrase. Remember, for our audience, there's this phrase like, "Don't let nothing get you down." I love that, right? Am I right? Don't let nothing. It's great. What a great positive thing to, right? Don't let nothing get you down.
Yeah, but they don't practice what they preach. They don't practice what they sing. They get mad real easy.
Don't let nothing get you.
I was thinking about that today. I was thinking, you know how mean kids are? Kids are mean. I don't care. Kids are mean. That's why parents got to teach them how not to be mean. You know what I mean? Because naturally, instinctively, we're mean.
We are. But
Mexicans are they got a little extra tapatio in their meanness. They be mean to each other, man. You know what I mean? They get all mad. They get mad over anything, and they go beat you up. And I'm like, don't let no one get you down, eh? Practice with remember the oldie.
Hey, I love, you know what, man? Latinos, growing up, I remember love giving nicknames, but a lot of times the nicknames could be. Do you remember some of the nicknames the kids would say?
Dude, we were mean. Okay, this is how mean we were. We were in the second grade. I'm 7 years old. And we know what we called our teacher? We didn't call her by her name. I mean, we did when he called her, but we called her teacher. That's how Mexicans call the teacher. Teacher. So anyway, she was a big girl. We called her by her dress size. 22, la 22 in Spanish. La 22 means 22. The la 22 means la means feminine. 22 is 22. La 22, bro. That's what we called her. And then
that's hilarious.
And then it sticks with us when you grow up. We have a friend. He's a bartender, and he got a finger that got chopped off. I don't know how. Doesn't matter. We call him El Nueve, 9, just because he's got 9 fingers. And then, hold on, Darren. I know it gets meaner. We have another friend. He has an eye that looks up a little bit. So it's angled. It's crooked. So he's got a little crooked eye. It just looks up a tiny bit. It angles up. We call him Buscaviones. That's Spanish for looking for airplanes. And he answers to it. We're like, hey, Buscaviones. And he's like, what's up? I go, you tell me.
Oh, man. I got off easy then because when I had my red hair, they used to call me Rooster. That's not that bad,
Only a Mexican will come up with that to call somebody that. I'm telling you.
I know. You know what's funny is because I was talking to public.
Hey, wait a second. Why did they call you Rooster? It wasn't just because you had red hair.
I think it's because the red hair and the backpack, because I'd walk like this, which I probably didn't even notice. I probably was just walking, and they were like, "Hey, Rooster, what's up, guyo?" You're right. It was the backpack. It was the combo, man. It was the combo.
Yeah.
Like if I just had red hair, whatever, right? But if I had that red hair and a backpack and I have a feather duster.
And to be clucking.
Yeah.
I love it.
Paul Rodriguez, he told me his brother had red hair growing up, and they used to call him. They used to go like this, like they'd flick on their pants and go fosforo, fosforo, and I guess that means like match or something, matches, fosforo, fosforo. It's like,
Oh my gosh, dude. We had a friend, he had acne, bad acne. We called him Radish.
oh gosh.
We called it Radish because of his face. He looked like a rat. It was red with acne. We have no mercy. Mexicans have no mercy.
Dude, I could totally picture a red radish. Oh my gosh. Do the names, are they the opposite? Like, like with bikers, they'll be like, "Where's Tiny?" And then some big guy comes in. Do they do that?
They do that sometimes. We had a black guy in the gang, called him Casper.
Casper.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They called him Casper. We didn't call none of the white guy Shadow. I mean, when we call the black guy Casper. See that? Black people are getting the bad end of the stick these days, man. I'm sorry, black people. I love you.
We love you, man.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Did the big guys get called gordo, or do they call them the opposite and call them like skinny?
Yeah, gordo. No, the big guys. You had you didn't get a pass. You were gordo. No passes here, baby. Gordo. And then skinny guy was flaco. Anybody who was light was called güero.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I used to get called güero. Yeah, and it was cool though, man. You have no say in the matter. Like it had to be cool. If you didn't make peace with your nickname, I'm sorry. That's just how it was back then, man. Growing up, it's a beautiful thing though, man. My friend told me, he goes, once you get a nickname though, like there's like a connection. People it's like there's a connection if you get that nickname.
Right.
Did you have a nickname?
Yeah, they used to call me Kiki. Kiki.
Kiki. What does Kiki mean?
Means it's short for Enrique.
Oh.
But I'm not Enrique. I'm Gilbert. But that was the only nickname. That was the only nickname left.
That's hilarious.
It was either that or Buscaviones or El Nueve. And I wanted all my fingers and I like my eyes. No, for real. There was a choice between Kiko, Kiko. I go, no, there was already a Kiko. There's already a Kiko. And I don't want to share a name with somebody else because we have to fight. Because you got to fight. If you got the same name, you got to fight. So I go, nah, give me something nobody has. I don't want to fight.
It's almost like it's like a jersey. Like there's already a number 47.
Yes!
I got. Yeah.
Exactly. So I didn't want Kiko. I go, I'll do Kiki. K-I-K. I didn't know that Kiki was short for Enrique. I just Kiki because I didn't want to be a Kiko and I didn't want to be a Buscaviones. So Kiki was my name. But then they shortened it to K-I, just K-I. So everybody, my closest friends call me K-I.
K-I. That's cool, man. We were talking about like where things might go with entertainment and live shows and you had a really interesting philosophy. Do you remember what you said to me about, how they with like food trucks and mobile comedy?
I think that everything's going to go more outside, more exterior. You're going to have more outside dining, like drive-in, like the old A&W drive-up restaurant, root beer, you drive up and then the girls would come out and take your order and, on skates or whatever they call them. And then I think there's going to be more of that. They have Sonics already. There's going to be more drive-ins opening up, I hear now. And I saw that before. I saw all this before. Matter of fact,
yeah.
Check this out. About a month before all this happened and hit us, I told my brother, I called up my brother because I was on my way somewhere and I got this inspiration. I call my brother because his boss is a millionaire. And I go, hey, talk to your boss. Tell him about this. And I shared with him what I had. Before anything, I sold my brother on it first. Then I pitched him. But first I had to sell him. Then I said, see, I just sold you. Anyways, I wanted to get a package together of masks and water and sell it to corporations and companies and big stores. They could sell a package because they ran out of masks in China. I go, that'd be crazy. If we ever got an epidemic over here, we would run out of masks too. We don't want that. So I told my brother, talk to your boss. I told him about the special kind of water that I found, the special kind of water, cheap. It's cheap, but it lasts for 50 years. You know, it's if you put drinking water in plastic, it only lasts so long because that plastic, the chemicals get into the water. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, but there's other ways you can preserve water that'll last 50 years. And I know how. And I told my brother, let's do this, sell these packages. He goes, all right, I'll talk to my boss. A month later, we got the virus over here and we got shut down. And look what happened. We ran out of masks. So
Wow.
I'm telling, and the water situation, I'm telling you, if I would have had all this set up, I could have sold corporations. I could have sold millions and millions of dollars like that. D had we implemented that plan. So I see things ahead the way, and right now what I see, D, is the future is going to be outside, even comedy. Comedy is going to be outside of the clubs.
It's
Comedy is going to be on the internet more because now that we found how to do comedy ourselves and we got the social media, the technology, we no longer need the clubs. We no longer need cable TV. We no longer need to network television. When you got people on YouTube making more money than actors on TV, something's wrong with this picture or something is right. And I like the right. So that's why I'm going to go with that. That's the future. Social media, entertainment, because we learned the hard way. Uh, Invention is what to say? Necessity is the mother of invention, and
yeah.
what we went through created a necessity that we started creating different ways to do shows. And Darren, I've through all this thing, buddy. I've been making money, man. I've been making money. I've been making money doing this internet comedy over and money, buddy. Money that I never thought was possible to be there. I'm making money, good money.
Tell if anybody wants to learn how to make money, how do we what would be some tips that you could give?
Bro, anything you can do. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Because I came from the streets, and in the streets, you ain't got no job. I mean, I'm a hustler. I'm a criminal. If you don't have a job, you got to hustle up money somehow, some way, in any way. You either steal, beg, or whatever you got to do to get it. That's
Yeah.
the way. That's the criminal mind. You know what I mean? So what happened was when I changed my ways, I still had those old criminal things that I learned because nothing never learned is ever wasted. So I'm a hustler. For example, when I went to jail for the first time ever in a county jail as an adult, I went to jail, a juvenile jail, in jail when I was a kid, but never the big boys. So the first time I went to the LA County Jail, the most dangerous jail in the country, right? The craziest, most crowded jail in the country. They have over 14,000 inmates, I heard, in the LA County Jail. Can you believe that?
That's
But when I
crazy.
got there, D, when you're in jail, you got to get a hustle. Either you're going to be one of the guys that's smuggling in drugs and contraband and selling things like cell phones and drugs and cigarettes, or, you know, and then some guys in there, they sell haircuts. Some guys sell coffee. Some guys have, everybody has their hustle. Some sell food. They make food and sell it at night. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of ways to make, because you got to have money, you know what I mean? So you can, you know. So what I did, I didn't have none of that. I didn't have no money. I didn't have no connections. I had no friends in there. I had nothing. That was just me and 14,000 other guys like me. So what I did, check this out. The LA County Jail was so crowded that I'm in the day room with like 300 guys, man. They got us all cramped in there. And there's only so many beds. They got bunk beds too. But there's only so many. The rest of everybody's on the floor. There's literally around the floor, sitting on the floor. So what I would do whenever, because you would wait in that room until they called you to take you to your regular cell when you're going to go. So that's the waiting time, you know? So what I would do is that they would call people. I noticed that when they would leave, their beds would become available. So what I would do, as soon as I heard and I saw somebody, they would say their name and I saw them rolling up their stuff or whatever, I'd run over there. As soon as they left, I'd jump on the bed. And I already had a bed, but I would jump on the bed, and then I would do is I would sell it to one of the guys sitting on the floor.
Oh.
So I ended up coming out, buddy. You know what I mean? You got to find a way to any little thing. And right now, since they canceled all my gigs. I had gigs they canceled and all that stuff. And I had just come out of a season where I had broke my leg on my motorcycle and I lost a lot of work doing comedy there. So I was just coming out of that, barely getting back in the groove. And then this hits. And I
That's right.
yeah. So fortunately, dude, all the gigs that got canceled, it's all right because I got other gigs. People wanted me to come in and do a show online, no audience, just speaking into the camera. And I was like, comedy doesn't work like that. But I was nervous. I said, you know what? I need the money, man. I go, yeah, let's do it. I don't care. I'll do. My wife said, honey, you could do a comedy show on a desert island all by yourself. And I go, yeah, I get done. Hey,
Yeah. See, a positive woman, man. A positive woman. You got when you have that positive person in your life, it's the best, you know. And we both are so lucky to have that and to nurture that, you know.
Yeah, and I could just imagine me on stage on an island all by myself. Hey, I want to welcome all the palm trees here tonight. They're here with their dates.
Yeah, nice hairstyle.
I like the hair.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
I did it on the light.
Oh wait, hey, that's not a lady. Those are coconuts. No.
Yeah. Look at the lady. Look at that. Look at all them coconuts. Hey, they make bras out of those coconut shells. Why not?
I know. By the way, I got to say, side note, man, I get sunburned very easy, and I've learned standing under certain trees. Certain trees I love because they create a lot of shade. Palm trees do not create a lot of shade, man. It's a very narrow radius. Because I remember I was talking to a friend of mine in the parking lot, and I was standing in the shade of the palm tree. But it seemed like about every 5 minutes, I kept having to like turn and turn. And he's like, "Dude, why do you keep walking?" I go, "I'm the shade, man. It's."
I'm looking for the shady side.
Yeah, shady side. Like at In-N-Out Burger when they put the two palm trees like that. Oh man, yeah. I love In-N-Out Burger. I have not been to one in like 3 months. I need to go back to In-N-Out Burger. I know it's open. I just haven't been.
Yeah, I know. We were gonna eat In-N-Out the other day, man.
No, but you know, I've done some online shows, and I gotta say, man, like, you know, like tell the people what you did, because I did a show with you, and it was very inventive. I love what you did.
Okay, so when I did these other shows that I did at churches, and I did them in front of the camera, and I couldn't hear no laughter, so what I did is I heard one guy laughing, and that one guy laughing. Man, that was like having a whole audience. That was like having a whole audience, for real. But when you've been doing my jokes as long as I have, and I've been doing the same jokes for years. And if I don't do them, they're so classic. If I don't do them, people ask me, "Why didn't you do that joke, man? It's my favorite joke." So I'm like, I got to do my old stuff, man. I would be robbing people if I didn't do my national anthem, and I've been doing
exactly. I was just going to say that national anthem. Anytime someone kind of does their own version of the national anthem, like for real, I think of your bit, and I don't know is it on YouTube?
It's all over YouTube. It's all over YouTube.
Because I may have looked it up on YouTube, but I know every now and then I'll hear it on Sirius XM, and I'm like, that's so dang good. Do you do it? Have you made it even better than when it was recorded, or is it exactly the same? Because it's so good.
Same. A lot of my jokes are timeless, buddy. A lot of my jokes are timeless. People tell me, Gilbert, you know how many times I've heard that joke? I've heard it hundreds of times, and it makes me laugh just as hard every time.
Yeah.
I always say it different. I say the same joke, but I come in different.
Yeah.
I'll come in from a different conversation, or I'll work it into a conversation where you hear it, but it caught you off guard.
Yeah.
So it was funny again, and then you're seeing the reaction of the audience, so you're laughing along with them.
Where you're like, oh, say, oh, and then it's so good.
Now, when I did that, I had the confidence in my material. I knew it worked, so I knew they were laughing, but I couldn't hear them. However, when I asked the guy, "Are they laughing?" and then the guy signaled me, "Yeah, they're laughing." Everybody, the people that were there, they were like, "Yeah, they're going crazy." So I'm like, "Okay, good." Well, after when I watched the show, I realized how much they were laughing. I'm going, "Oh wow!" So I did another show, same thing. I had the confidence more, did my thing. Then I go, "Okay, so I'm gonna do this at home, but I'm gonna have more of a controlled lighting. I'm gonna have more of a controlled environment, because the way they did it was a little different, and that could have been better." Only audio and lighting. That's what I mean. So I did that. And then I brought in comedians, and I had to tell the comedians, look, I'm going to put this monitor in front of you behind the camera so that the audience doesn't see the monitor, only you do. And you're going to be able to see their comments, and you're going to see the emojis, because they put up laughing emojis.
They start tapping it. So those hearts are like, it's just hearts.
Yeah. And you can feel it. You can feel it. And then you got me laughing in the garage. I'm laughing over here in the garage. That helps you, because I know, because I've been there. One
Yep,
person
yep.
laughing is all you need. So we did it. We made history. We made comedy history. Nobody has ever done a live stand-up comedy show without an audience. I mean, with a virtual audience from a garage, and went live all over the world.
And it worked, dude.
Live.
Yeah, when I did your show, man, I went, it was awesome. Like it was just great. Like it's not the same as when people are like, come to my Zoom comedy show. And you're like in your kitchen. No. This was like, a monitor, like you said, you got the speakers, it was great, man. It was like the closest thing to like a real show.
And they loved you. They loved you. And Darren, check this out. NBC did about a month later, NBC did their own thing. They were pushing it, Feeding America or whatever they were called. Remember, what do they call it? The feeding.
I don't know, laughter, I don't know. I don't remember, but
they had the biggest comedians in the world there. Well, in the country. They had them there. And I thought they were going to do stand-up comedy. They did not do stand-up comedy. They only did skits because they couldn't understand you can't do comedy. Even, check this out, Russell Peters. Did you see it by any chance?
I didn't see it.
Okay, Russell Peters, he was at his house,
yeah.
And across the street, what they did, they shot it in his neighborhood. And across the street, Howie Mandel lives there from Russell Peters. So what Russell Peters did is he went out into, somebody's texting me. He went out into his driveway. Yeah, Russell went to the end of the driveway and he set up a microphone and he's like, and Howie Mandel's coming out to get his newspaper and he goes, what are you doing? He goes, NBC wants me to do stand-up comedy with no audience. So I'm out here setting up my microphone. He goes, you want to be my audience? Can you be my audience from over there? And he goes, and then he's like, what do you, and then they couldn't hear each other. And they ended up making fun of doing comedy in front of a virtual audience, of no audience. They made fun of it. They didn't do the stand-up. They just made fun of it. We did stand-up, Darren. We did our act in front of a no audience, a virtual audience. It takes faith. It takes faith in your own material and your own talent.
And also, I got to be honest, like you said, having people laugh, like you laughed, and then seeing the monitor, like you're seeing all the you're seeing it that actually worked. You're right about the outdoor. I saw a buddy of mine. He's going to do comedy in, I think he's flying out to like upstate New York. I think that's where it's at. And he's doing comedy at a drive-in. It looks like a drive-in movie theater, or it might be a parking lot of a comedy club. I'm not sure what it is, but it's outside. And they have the stage, the monitors, and people will be outdoors. You're right. You're so right about that. I have another friend that's doing one. I got to check in to see how it went. He did one in a parking garage, and he said people are going to be in their cars. I'm sure at this point they're probably going to be, and the speakers are going to be in the car, like an old drive-through movie theater. And I think people will be kind of standing on, outside their car, maybe with their windows down, so they're not really. You're not playing to a bunch of vehicles. You're probably the sound is in their car, like through some radio frequency, and I think that's what they're going to try to do. Like slowly. And I know in Texas, I think the clubs are actually opening up, but like at half capacity or 25%. But I think there's going to be this blend of like some shows like that where they're inside but less people. Other shows where you're, like you said, outdoor. I like what we're getting innovative, doing it through the computers, doing it outside. Have you you and your brother come up with, because you guys are always putting on your own shows. Have you?
Yes.
Have you?
Yep.
What are you guys going to do? I'm excited to hear about this.
I don't want to say because I don't want to take that idea. You know what I mean? I'm not you. I'm talking about people listening.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. He's the one that came up with it. I'm like, wow. I turned into Macaulay Culkin. Brilliant idea.
Well, hopefully there'll be people.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Check out comedy, Darren. Think about it. It's common sense. Back in the day, it evolved. Comedy's always been changing, evolving or changing, whatever you want to call it. I don't know necessarily evolving, but I know changing. There's a difference. Evolving goes up, changing just means different. That's all. And that's how comedy's been going. It's always been different. They had vaudeville. They had radio. Remember the radio era?
Oh, man. I'm reading a book about the history of comedy, and you're right. Like during the Depression, these guys would have these promoters have these giant theaters, but there'd only be 12 people in the audience. So then they started making, like you said, that transition changing to radio and getting sponsored by, Colgate or whoever. And bam, that's a lot of comedians thrived. But then once the economy kicked back in, they said in 1 year, I believe 150 hotels got built in the Miami area, and that became a hub of like vacationers and people go on vacation, and every hotel needed entertainment, so they would have a comic, a burlesque person, a singer. So yeah, it's always changing, you know.
Wow. Wow. Well, check this out. From the radio it went to TV. TV went, now you had comedians on TV. Well, comedy went big. They started so big that they started opening these comedy clubs where you can literally I want to go see this live. I saw it on TV. I like to see it live. So for years it was live.
And by the way, real quick, when you say that, a lot of comedy clubs, like especially I remember even in the early '90s, I would notice there'd be a lot of you know why? Because they were in old discos, so there'd always be like a disco ball hanging in the middle of the room. Like you literally would see a disco ball. I mean, it's still out there. If you look at some of these places, some of the maybe not like the modern comedy club, but if you look at some of those, see.
Hey, look at that. Remember this? Remember that? Remember the
oh,
banner?
yeah. That's your old banner.
Comedy club. I did redid my garage. Look at my garage. Oh, look at my green screen. That's my green screen over there. See my green screen over there?
If you guys are listening to this, hop on YouTube and check out this episode, and you'll see his disco ball. He actually has a disco ball. That's hilarious.
Darren ain't lying, people.
I know. I'm like, yeah.
So anyway, so the clubs back in the 90s, if you remember, that's when cable TV came out. So now people, instead of going to comedy clubs and paying whatever the price is to get in, plus 2-drink minimum, which you end up drinking more than that. Plus you got to pay to park $10, $20 somewhere if you go to the comedy store. So you end up you make an evening out of it. You can easily spend $100 on yourself, easy, you and your date. Easy, right? So when cable TV came out, it was so convenient for people not to have to leave their home and laugh at the same time. They don't have to buy no, they got their own drinks. You know what I mean? They got their own thing. They watch it at their convenience. They can turn the comic off. If they don't like him, they can turn, you know. And that's what happened. Now that right there, comedy clubs started shutting down all over the country. So everything became cable TV. Carlos Mencia ended up being on cable TV. David Chappelle got us. All the comics stayed away from cable until David Chappelle signed the $50 million deal with Comedy Central. Then all the comics started jumping on. So now cable TV is phased out now by social media. See what I mean? Because social media, now you got even more control of the entertainment you like. So therefore, the future is going to be still in social media for a while until social, you know, as social media evolves. But until then, it's going to go to where people are going to be convenient. I don't think people are going to want to go out to clubs as much as they used to anyways. I think that social media is going to provide so much entertainment and comedy that they can watch from home. From home. That's what I really believe. I really believe people like convenience. And I believe social media is making it so convenient. They're putting a lot of people out of business. A lot of stores are going out of business because you can shop online now. A lot of stores, buddy. A lot of major bookstores, everything. You know what I mean? Things are changing. Social media is taking over. So therefore, you got to jump on the bandwagon. You got to go with it because that's where it's.
I don't, and like you said, I don't think it's going to go away completely because people do like to be around other people, and you know, especially single people, they want to see they want to see that pretty girl over there. They want to be there, and there's something about that communal experience of laughing in a group. It's like, man, that definitely, that's what I'm saying. That will never go away completely because people like to laugh in a group and hear that common bond. Like when you said the thing about nicknames, like. And people in our mind were like, yes, you know, and when you're looking over and you're like, you nudge your buddy or your girl, you're like, that's you, you know? Yeah. So,
you know, it's true, Darren. It's true. But even when the comedy clubs were shutting down, not all of them shut down because of what you said. However, you got to understand, how many times do people actually go out on the night to a comedy club? Hey, let's go. They'll go once in a while. You know what I'm saying? But those same people that go once in a while, they watch comedy all the time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You're always going to have that element there, people that want to go out. You're always, but it's going to be a whole lot less than what it is even now. It's going to be there, but even less. And I guarantee you, like I said, I'm not saying it's going to go away completely. I'm just saying social media is providing another way to do everything.
And if comedians are like, it's so funny, man, because in that book I was reading about, they're talking about how some of the older comedians who were used to they were used to vaudeville, or they didn't like the new medium. They're like, television, like, nah, that's not. They were resisting, man. They were totally resisting. And some people went with it and they got really good at it, and other people resisted. And I noticed the same thing with social media, but some people were like, I don't really want to, put my jokes out there. Like, people will, and then you realize other people are like, no, man, podcasting, YouTube, let's make videos. You were an early adapter, man. Like, you were doing your Facebook shows like 2 years ago, maybe 3. I mean, it'd been a while. And
you started March of 2018.
You were getting big numbers too. Like, some people would go live because they didn't know what they were doing, and they go live and like nobody's really watching it. Maybe 12 people, 50, maybe 100 if you were lucky. You were getting thousands and thousands of people.
One time I got to 64,000 or 68,000.
Right. Views. Yeah.
And that's on Facebook, man. That's Facebook. But again, after 2 years, all good things come to an end. So therefore, now what I'm doing is I'm taking it to another level. I'm taking everything to another level. I'm going to start doing more of I bought more equipment. I'm learning more about everything, about color schemes and lighting and audio, and how it makes a big difference when you have good, clean audio and good, clean, pleasurable view, whatever you call this, the background, something pleasant to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny how, if we were in our 20s, we'd probably we'd know all about it. You and I'd be on like TikTok and this and that. But, we've learned to like change and adapt, overcome and adapt,
Right.
Like,
I'm going to show you something.
Yeah, show us.
I'm going to show you what we're talking about. Just lighting alone. Look at how it looks right now. This is the same set. I'm going to show you the same set.
And what's going to happen, you guys, is you're going to check in with Gilbert. You're going to check in with me, and maybe you're watching this like 6 months from now or down the road, and you're going to be like, wow, they've come a long way. Because even as good as it looks and sounds now, there's always room for improvement.
Oh yeah, just let me show you the difference what lighting does.
Okay.
So you can think me and Darren know what we're talking about. Look at this.
Okay, what am I looking at? So there you are.
Lighting?
If you're listening, go to the YouTube and you'll see this part. Oh yeah, so he's got great lighting behind him and on his face.
Wearing the same shirt, same hat. I wear this shirt every night on my show when I'm on, because it's my new t-shirts. So I'm trying to, so I'm branding, you know what I mean? So look at the color on that, buddy.
That's really good. That's really good.
Look at the flowers.
That's good. A little neon sign back there. That's awesome.
The neon G. I got black light. Look at that, bro. I'm telling you, man. And that's just light. Look at the difference in light.
I know. And then hold your microphone. Look, he's got a microphone. Look at this.
Got a mic right here. So, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you should probably hold it a little bit. Is it wireless? No.
Yeah, it's wireless. Can you hear me better?
Hold it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty. How is it connected to your computer? Through Bluetooth?
It's just a USB. Look, where's it at? It's really.
This is how untechnical I am. So it's wireless, but it's connected through USB. To me, that doesn't even make sense.
Dude, you're a whole lot more savvy about this stuff than I am. I'm barely learning this, but it's how easy. If I could do it, dude, anybody can do it.
So it's wireless, but then
look, see this little.
Yeah, hold that
right
up.
Here.
Okay, so there's that, and then wait, don't unplug it. Don't unplug it.
Why?
I don't know, because what if it doesn't reconnect with?
It'll reconnect. Even if not, you can see it on my voice.
Oh, now what's that plugged into?
How does my voice sound there?
Terrible. It sounds awful.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, yeah. And what's that USB thing? Hold that USB thing up again.
Oh, this is a multiple USB They have this.
Oh,
You plug it in, so you can put a bunch of USB port. It's got a bunch of USB portals, and this right here is my Ethernet. That's my microphone right there. You plug that
oh,
into your computer, and your sound goes directly into your computer. They're
gotcha.
cheap.
Okay. Oh, that's like a power strip. So what I'm looking at, if you guys are listening, is he had a power strip he held up. Dude, I sound so out of it. He had a power strip, and he plugged. Yeah. Oh my gosh! I'll probably edit all this out, but
No, it's fun. That's the
no, I
best
know.
part.
I'm joking. I'll leave it in. This is hilarious.
You
This
know
is
what
what I'm talking about.
one of the biggest hits of my show was, one of the things that really grabbed people the most. Well, one of the most was every time that something would go wrong, I would make fun of it. I called it G's Ghetto Garage, the Triple G show. G's Ghetto Garage, Gilbert's Ghetto Garage, because everything that could go wrong went wrong. One time my curtain fell off, and that was covering the ugly air conditioner, and the curtain fell off, the air conditioner cover fell off. It was like, I'm making fun of it. People are laughing, and they were calling it G's Ghetto Garage.
Oh, you guys, I have to remember this, and we have to wrap up in a little bit. But I remember I did a show with you. Remember, we did a show. It wasn't even in a comedy club. It was in North Hollywood, I want to say, or somewhere. And I remember it was at a car like detailing place, like it was a garage, and it was at night,
Yeah.
like an
LA
alarm.
Custom.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
I
Darren.
remember I left the Laugh Factory, and you're like, "Come down, man, come down." And I told two other comedians, I go, "We're gonna go to this LA Custom place. It's in a garage, a mechanic type garage. He's got like a outdoor whatever that thing was, like that. I don't know if it was like a mobile truck, and it had like a screen and the comedians were like, "Yeah, we'll be there." Well, they didn't believe in it. And they didn't show up. I hate when people flake. And I went there, and there was all these people, and it was like a party, and it was awesome, man. It was great.
Yeah, you got to, and you and I, we've done comedy in some of the strangest, weirdest, craziest places, man. I've done comedy in prisons in Mexico. I've done over 50, almost 60 prisons all over the country, and some of them repeatedly. I've done them over again. So, I got to tell you though, man, I think that the craziest, most incredible, weirdest place I've ever done comedy was in the garage in front of a virtual audience with
Wow.
no applause to go off of. That
Dude,
was the hardest, craziest, most.
it was a very strange time. I remember going, when I went down to your garage, I remember we had like the disinfectant and we had our own microphone, and it felt very surreal, because we didn't, now I'm not as, I don't know. I see people outside. I went to the beach, I left LA. I'm gonna go up to a smaller town, and they're not as like, I don't know, like,
Paranoid.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so you'd see people keeping their distance, but like, I remember walking into a pizza parlor and like 7 people are pretty much shoulder to shoulder making pizza and no masks and just, and you just really, and actually, I gotta be honest, it felt kind of good to see some normality, But when I did that show in your garage, I mean, right, pretty much early on during the pandemic, I remember I made a joke. I said, because it took me back to being 19, 20 years old. I said, wow, Gilbert, I started my comedy career in a garage, and now it's ending in a garage. It's crazy. Out of all the things we've done, all the stages, but it's not ending. It was just like, but in that moment, it felt like, what am I in the Twilight Zone here? But we just keep thinking positive, and we keep adapting and changing, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show. As we're leaving, give us some inspiration, something to look forward to. I love what you said, that how things are going to change and we're going to make it happen. We're going to take our business to new places that haven't been done yet.
Yep, I believe that. I believe that necessity is the mother of invention, and we comics, we need laughter. We need laughter, and I believe that depending on how hungry you are as a comedian, and I'm just talking comedy because this applies to everything. I believe that your passion and your fire has to burn bright enough to get you through the changes that are coming, because there are changes that are coming and you got to go with it. If you want to stick to the old way, you're going to be disappointed. You gotta go with the program. You gotta go with the flow, and that's it. Find a way in this social media. is this is your future, comedian, right here.
Yeah.
Right here. The clubs, yeah, they'll be open. There's going to be fewer clubs open, though. It means more competition. More comedians are going to try to get into those fewer clubs. So if you want to go out there and fight with the crabs and all that stuff, go right ahead. But you know what? There's plenty of room up here in social media. There's plenty of room. It's crowded down there. Up here, there's plenty of room. Get on board. The sky's the limit.
This guy knows what he's talking about. How often do you do shows? Do you do shows like once a month online, every 2 weeks? Tell people how often you're on your computer doing your thing.
I just came up with a new line. The Skype's the limit.
The Skype is the limit.
The Skype is the limit, baby. What were you saying? I'm sorry, I missed that last question because I was stupid. Great little thing I just came up with. You don't ever want to forget it. You know, when you think of something great, you don't forget what everybody else is saying. I just want to say this. I forgot. Or you know, when you're talking to somebody, I learned something. When you're talking with somebody and you're having an argument, let's say, and you're speaking your piece and they're doing like this. All they're doing, they're not hearing you. They're just waiting for you to finish so they can say what they're going to say. And then when you ask them, did you hear what I said? They're like this, and they go, what did I say? They go, I don't know, but boom, 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 boom. You see? So be aware. Next time you're arguing with somebody or having a debate, remember, when you're speaking your mind and they start shaking their head, stop. And say, no, you need to stop and listen to me. You're just waiting to say what you're going to say next. I want you to hear what I'm going to say. Then you can say what you're going to say.
Skype is the limit. The Skype is the limit. I love that.
Skype is the limit. So what was your last question you said then?
I said, I was kind of setting you up. I said, tell the folks how often you do your show. I go, do you do it once a month? Do you do a show online? Do you do it once every 2 weeks? Tell them how often you do your shows.
I do my Sundays and Mondays. I do my show. I play oldies music, oldies but goodies. I play old school funk back in the 70s and 80s. You know, I play Mexican a little bit. I mix it up, but I also talk to people. I create a community. Whoever's on there, you guys talk to each other. It's a party. It's an online party. It's like the old party lines on the telephone, but this time it's online. So it's an online party. Everybody talks to each other. Relationships are formed. Friendships are formed. Couples have met. You know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy, you know, but I create a community of a party atmosphere. And then Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock, and this is 9 p.m. California time on these, but Wednesday nights, because I do Sundays and Mondays, I take off Tuesday, but Wednesday nights, I have church. I do a church night where all we do is play gospel music, and we just talk about spiritual things. We talk about God and stuff, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of mainly non-religious people, just people who have faith and are spiritually aware and minded of stuff. But you know what I mean? We're not, how would I say it?
Yeah.
Don't do this and don't do. We're just people hanging out.
So now I'm counting. You do twice a week, and now you've upped it. So it's 3 times a week at least.
At least 3 times. Wow.
Because
3 times a week.
When you were, I remember like a year ago, I felt like you were doing it like 5 times a week, 6 times a week.
I was doing it 6 nights a week.
And he was live streaming and people were coming on and like I said, you don't know where this is going. Right now, I think you're mainly doing it on Facebook, but you're transitioning to do it also on YouTube, giving it places to live. I mean, who knows where it's going to end up? It's like, you know, maybe you'll just do the music part on Facebook. And the reason is because sometimes, you know, different platforms like YouTube might recognize that it's a song and they might flag it. But I don't think Facebook does that right now. But I mean, I'm telling you, Gilbert, you told me all these ideas.
Facebook cuts me off.
Oh, they do? Okay. Yeah. DJs are using a thing called, because I know some DJs that are playing music, they're using, it's either Instagram Live or there's another, when I remember it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please.
It might be called, Twitch. They're doing it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, look into Twitch. But
YouTube will let you play. Look at YouTube lets you play music, but you just can't download it or upload it, and keep it on your channel.
Oh, you can only stream it.
You can stream it, but you can't upload it.
Oh, so as soon as the stream's done, it's done.
Yeah, and that's what I do, But on Facebook, you can save it. So I save it on Facebook.
We'll figure out a way, because you had these great ideas. You go, hey, I want to go to these different, places and talk about boxing and have lunch called, Lunch Box, I think it was called, or Box Lunch.
No, the lunchbox.
The lunchbox. You had a thing. Remember, you told me you go from the stage to the cage, or from the cage to the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all these ideas for shows. You don't need the networks, man. And like with your crew and your, I follow these vloggers that like literally will go to different places, and like I'm following this guy right now, and it's great. Like he'll go to different restaurants and historic restaurants in the LA area, like the first Taco Bell, or the first, he's gone down to like.
Send me that link. I want to see him. I love to see that stuff.
It's great, dude. And he's just doing that now because what he has been doing before the pandemic, he would go to like famous places that were, places that movies were shot, like the real Forrest Gump house, or he would different movies, like he would go out to the desert and say this is where they shot the Planet of the Apes thing, or the star, and it's interesting how once you get the formula down, like, okay, I'm gonna do this shot, boom, we're good. He went to the Hat, the famous place, the Hat.
Oh wow, yeah.
He went to all these places, man. And it's like, I'm like, gosh, I want to do something like that. Like we're not stuck in a box. It's like maybe sometimes you do your inspirational religious show on Wednesdays. Sometimes you do something with no music. That way, it can live on YouTube. I mean, I would love to see Gilbert Esquivel going to places he grew up in.
Why don't we do that together, Darren? Why don't we do another one?
Let's do it. You and I'll go somewhere. Why can't we?
Let's do our own show. Let's do the lunchbox. Me and you, man. The rooster, El Gallo and the rooster. I'm the gallo, Mexican rooster. You're the rooster.
El Gallo and the rooster.
El Gallo and the rooster.
I love it. Yeah, we got to do that. You know what? Yeah, we should do that. I should. I'll come down to.
We'll meet at a restaurant. We'll meet at a different place.
We should maybe you. Yeah, we could go to like a place, and we'll look at the men. Listen. We're creating ideas on this show right now, but. Yes, we're going to do. I'm excited. You guys, listen, leave a comment. Tell us where we should go in Southern California, and we'll go do it, and we'll do a video, and we'll give you credit for it. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Gilbert, you're the best, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're even bester.
You're the best, man. Gilbert, thank you so much, man. Say hi to everybody, and we'll see. Where can people find you? Plug yourself.
At home, locked down like the rest of you. You can go on Facebook and find me on comedian Gilbert Esquivel. You can go on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, Comedian Gilbert's World, and I have a bunch of videos on there. Plus, you can go on YouTube, and I got a gang of my comedy videos that are on there. Just punch my name in, and that's it.
Cool. Gilbert, I'll see you soon.
All right, Darren, take care, buddy. Love you, man.
Love you too.
Say hi to Austin.
We're done with this interview.
So the other day I was standing in the kitchen and my son was like, Dad, why did you write down that you weigh 190 pounds? I'm like, I never wrote that. And he goes, look. And he held up my driver's license. I was like, ew. My wife goes, yeah, you're not supposed to put down your goal weight. You're supposed to put your actual weight. And then she looks at it again and she goes, and did you put your goal height? And I was like, I might have made myself look taller and thinner on my driver's license. And then my son starts breaking out into a song by Roy Orbison. Remember that? He was like, lying to the DMV. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching my YouTube video. And if you get a chance, watch one of these and subscribe. All right. Have a great day.